Hello and welcome to another lawn clippings video by lawnfawn. Today we are using Quinn's ABCs, heebie-jeebies, and happy haunting to create a really fun Halloween card. We're going to be using a 3" by 3" card base, and we're going to use some of these really fun decorative tapes to create our own custom Halloween pattern paper. And what's really fun about these tapes is that you can layer them and do all sorts of cool things to create backgrounds for any type of card, any season. But in this case, I'm using some purple, orange, and black for Halloween, and I really love the fancy patterns on these combined with the really cute card that I'm going to make. It really I like that combination of fun and kind of fancy together. There's something about it that's really cool, especially for Halloween. So right now I'm taking the orange and layering it over the purple, and I'm doing it kind of at an angle. That way it gets that topsy-turvy Halloween kind of look. If you were going to use this idea, say with washi tapes or other decorative tapes you might have for not Halloween, you could do it straight and have it that way as opposed to the angles, which might kind of read a little bit more like Halloween or a little bit more funky. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with this. So right here, I'm just going on and continuing this pattern. So I'm adding the black and then the purple and the orange and just kind of layering them on top of each other in that little bit of a crooked way and creating just a really fun pattern. I just love doing this. I did this last Halloween and I saved these tapes so I could do it again for this Halloween because I just loved it so much. I personally like seeing all the tapes on the inside, but if you don't, you could always do this on a piece of cardstock and then glue it to your card base later. So right here I have some pattern paper by Lily B, and it's a fun text pattern, but it's got this brown undertone to it. And what I really want is, I actually wanted more of a gray undertone text paper to go with my Halloween card. So what you can do is you can use distress inks to kind of customize your pattern paper to create really fun looks. So right here I'm just using some pumice stone, and I decided later on that pumice stone was a little bit too brownish. I kind of just liked the black soot, which is the darker color over it. So you can see now I'm starting fresh on the other side with the black soot, and it really gives a nice cool gray look, which is kind of overcoming that brown, which looks really fun. And so there's no wrong way to do distress inks. I mean, you just put them on, you layer them, and you have fun with it. Right there you can see I compared it to the card and decided it needed some of this milled lavender. It's a really faint lavender purple color, and it kind of adds a little bit something to that black. It just adds a little something to the paper that matches really well with our fun black and purple and orange paper. So right now we're going to be using Quinn's ABCs to spell out boo. So we're taking out the B and the O, and the really fun thing about Quinn's ABCs is that it's such a large scale alphabet that you can really use it for really large sentiments like this, like boo or maybe Mary for when you're doing Christmas cards. So it's really great for that kind of stuff. So right now I'm just stamping in Versamark. Versamark is a really sticky ink if you've never used it before, and it's really great for embossing and for getting some really cool tone-on-tone looks. You can see it's a clear ink, so it's kind of hard to see when I'm stamping over this distress inked background, but we're going to add some black embossing powder to this to get a really great look. And you're going to see when I add this black embossing powder that because the ink was still a little bit wet since it was distress ink, it stuck to everything. Lesson learned, let your paper dry when you put distress ink on it before you put your embossing powder on. The good thing is I'm going to be coloring in the centers of my letters, so it didn't really matter to me that there was black embossing powder around. The other thing is it's kind of a cool look for Halloween especially. It kind of gives a fun distress look that it kind of sticks to some of the distress ink. So that's kind of something to keep in the back of my mind. I actually ended up stamping the letters on that text paper that we created with the distress ink because I don't want to have to cut out the center of the letters. I wanted this to be a pretty quick card, and so I thought, oh, that might be kind of a cool way to get away with not having to cut out the centers this time. So it kind of gives it a different look too. I like the centers filled in. There's something kind of fun about that. So right now I'm just stamping out the boo letters to help with my placement of some of my other elements on the card. Eventually I'm going to cover these boo letters up with the letters the heat embossed letters that I cut out that are above, but it's just nice to have this placement to help with, kind of figuring out what I'm doing. Right there is heebie-jeebies, and we've got this really cute hanging spider in this set. But you can see his little hanging string is a little too long, but there's no problem for that at all. All we're going to do is ink it up and then just take a little paper towel or baby wipe and just wipe off some of the top of the ink. I'm not worried about it being perfect because I know I'm going to cover this letter up anyways. So it kind of is cool that you can just kind of place stuff, not worry about it, cover it up, and it's going to look perfect. So there is that adorable little spider. I just love his little smile. It's really, really cute. Here is Happy Haunting, and we're going to use the larger bat from this set to create kind of a fun 3D embellishment that we're going to put on the card. So we're stamping it on some white cardstock with some black ink, and we're going to go ahead and cut that out, and we're going to adhere that towards the end of the card. You'll see it's going to look really, really fun. So I love that bat from that set. So there's the bat all cut out, looking really, really cool. And the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and adhere these letters. And we're going to use some foam adhesive to do that because I really love that 3D look, and then it really feels like some custom letter embellishments too that then you can make to exactly match your project with either Copics or pattern paper like we did here. There's a lot of fun ways to use these kind of letters. So you can see there, just putting the last one on, I get those little the little peel off things stuck to me all the time. Butter gets them stuck to him too. My dog is always covered in them. I feel so bad. But I always check him after I craft to make sure they're not stuck to his fur too much. So right now we're just putting some adhesive down on this because we're going to just put a little black cardstock behind it. And I just thought it needed a little bit of a frame to it, especially because that background we created with the tapes is so busy. That black frame is going to help this stand out from that sort of busyness of it all. So right now we're going to go ahead and stamp the spider from Heebie Jeebies again. And we're just going to color him in with some Copics. We're just going to use some shades of gray, and then we're going to cut out just his little circle body and adhere that over the stamped spider that we already have there, because I wanted him to stand out a little more than he is right now. So there's some gray markers. I'm just coloring him in, and what I did was I rolled a glue dot and put it on the spider to adhere it to give him a little bit of dimension, but not as much as the foam adhesive, because I didn't want him to be as high up as the letters, but I did want to give him a little something. So right here I used some cool gray markers, and I thought it didn't match enough, so I'm just taking a warm gray marker and going over it to make it blend a little more. And this is a technique that you can use with any of your colors of Copics. If you put a gray over it, you kind of get a cool look. So that's something to try. Right now I'm just looking at some different stickles. One is milled lavender stickles, and I think the other one is magenta. This is just a sparkly glitter glue. They're really, really fun. And I wanted to see exactly which one I thought would match better. And so I thought the magenta was a lot more fun. So I just put some foam adhesive on the back of that little panel that we've created. And now we're going to layer that on this, gray card base here. And it's looking really, really Halloween-y. And now I'm just taking the Stickles glitter glue and filling in the letters to really give them even more pop with glitter and just bright colors. It's going to look really, really cool, especially for Halloween. I just love that fall and winter is just the perfect time for glitter. So right there, I just went through and filled them all in. It was really easy to do, and of course it's something that you need to let dry, but before I let it dry, I want to add my bat because the glitter glue will actually act as a glue, and I won't have to go back later and adhere him in with some dry glue. You can kind of just put them on there. And I just took my scissor tip and just kind of pushed it into the glitter glue to make sure that the bat stays on there nice and secure. And so that is our card today. It's a really fun card to create for treat bags or anything else Halloween you can think of. Thank you so much for watching and have an amazing day. Bye!